Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for tuning in. Today our lesson will be from educational psychology. Piaget's stages of intellectual development, which forms a very important part of educational psychology. So let us start our class now. Piaget's 4 stages of intellectual or cognitive development. So this is primarily a paper 2 topic, but in December 2018 exam, the exam that I appeared in, one question came from this topic. So ever since then, it has become an important part of paper 1 as well, I believe. So pay attention. Jean Piaget, not Piaget, okay? Jean Piaget, a Swiss psychologist and an epistemologist. So epistemology is a branch of philosophy and it studies knowledge. So he was famous for his theory of cognitive development. And in this theory, he talks about how children develop intellectually throughout the course. And prior to his theory, children were thought of simply as mini adults. And if you think about it, then it sounds quite funny also. And through this theory, Piaget demonstrated the way how children think is so fundamentally different from the way adults think. That means children and adults, they are two different groups of people. So there are 3 basic components in Piaget's cognitive theory: schemas, adaptation processes, stages of cognitive development, which will be the focus of our study. So schemas, basic building block of intelligent behavior, a way of organizing knowledge. Adaptation processes, and those processes are equilibrium, assimilation, and accommodation. And lastly, stages of cognitive development: sensory motor, pre-operational, concrete operational, formal operational. And we'll leave these two the first 2 basic components out, and we'll study the stages of cognitive development. The first stage of intellectual development is sensory motor stage, birth till 2 years of age. That is the period, okay? Absence of language, that means it is marked by complete lack of language. The infant does not speak, he does not use words to express his feelings. Obviously, he cannot speak at all. It is limited to direct sensory and motor interactions with the environment. Well, instead of language, he uses his movements to interact with the world around him. That is basically how he communicates with everybody. A period of rapid cognitive growth. So in this stage, a very rapid growth of his cognitive abilities is taking place. Infants develop an understanding of the world through trial and error using their senses and actions, motor movements. So the most common example I can give is an infant grabbing a burning candle. Instantly he'll feel the pain and start crying, and that's how he learns that candles are supposed to be left alone, because if you touch them, they will cause pain. Object permanence, which means objects continue to exist even though the baby cannot see or experience them. So towards the end of this stage, something called object permanence happens. So let us say you're playing with a baby and then you show him a toy. Suddenly you hide the toy behind your back, and you know what the baby will do? He'll start looking for it. He'll start looking for the toy because he knows, even though he does not see the toy in front of him right now, right then and there, the toy exists. So in his little baby mind, he knows the toy is still there. It would not simply disappear just like that. Just because he's not experiencing it right now, the toy would disappear. There is nothing like that. He realizes this. He realizes that the object is permanent, even though he cannot see or experience. So that is what we mean by object permanence. The attainment of object permanence signals the transition from the sensory motor stage to the pre-operational stage of development. And Piaget regarded this object permanence as the biggest achievement of this stage. Pre-operational stage, 2 to 7 years of age. So There are two sub-stages to this stage, okay? And we'll talk about the first sub-stage, pre-conceptual phase, and it lasts from 2 to 4 years of age. Concept formation takes place, but at a very rudimentary level, very basic concept formation takes place, and the child will make mistakes in identification and concept formation. Transductive reasoning, what is that? When a child fails to understand the true relationships between cause and effect. So that is what we mean by transductive reasoning. Illogical thinking and reasoning, imaginative thinking, and away from reality. The child is in his own imaginary world. He's away from reality most of the time and very egocentric in nature also. That means he places himself first. He sees himself first and nobody else. He just sees himself only, nobody else. That's why there is no sharing of toys at this stage. He just refuses to share toys with his friends or his brothers or sisters. Animism. So you'll see the child playing with the toys, like let's say G.I. Joes and Barbies. They think those toys are capable of actions and they see them like real people. That's what it means by lifelike qualities. Intuitive phase, 4 to 7 years of age. So this is the second substage, and here the child becomes very curious, very, very inquisitive, and asks many questions, too many questions in fact, to the point it annoys you. Here it is marked by the absence of two main characteristics. What are they? Reversibility and conservation. Reversibility is the ability to recognize that numbers or objects can be changed and changed back to their original condition. Example is the fact that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 and so on can be counted back. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. This concept is just completely impossible for the child to understand. He thinks this cannot happen. And the fact that ice can be turned into water and then water can be turned back to ice. It's just very difficult for the child to wrap his head around the fact that ice and water, they are the same thing. Conservation. Conservation is the ability to see an object as permanent even though its length, width or shape changes. The most common example is you pour the same amount of water in two glasses, two identical glasses. And if you ask the child if they are the same amount of water, he will reply yes. Okay? And let's say if you replace one glass with a taller one and pour the same amount of water here, then the water will obviously rise and appear more in quantity. And if you ask the child which glass has more water, he will reply, this glass has more water. Even if you poured the same amount of water in front of him, okay, he will still say the amount is not the same. This glass has more water than this glass. So this is happening at this stage of development. Moving on to the next phase, concrete operational stage, which lasts from 7 till 11 years of age. So here the thinking has become more logical and more concrete. And when we say concrete thinking, it means there is focus on physical things. The thinking is based on facts and it is more focused on physical objects. Presence of reversibility and conservation in the previous stage, where there is complete absence of these two aspects. And think in terms of a set of interrelated principles. The child can now start connecting dots. Elimination of egocentrism. That means he is able to place others before himself. He starts to share his things. He starts to be helpful. Selflessness. So yeah. Can classify objects. Do serialization. That means putting serial numbers like 1, 2, 3, 4, A, B, C, D accordingly. and number concept is developed, can tackle problems that are concrete but not abstract. Abstract is the opposite of concrete. Concrete means based on hard facts, based on physical objects. It deals with the physical world, but abstract deals with things that cannot be touched. It's more imaginary. Use of inductive logic. What is inductive logic? It goes from specific to general principles. The last stage, formal operational stage. It lasts from 12 till 15 years of age, okay? Learns to deal with abstraction by logical thinking. That means he's able to think in ideas, not only concrete, but in ideas, abstraction by logical thinking. Symbolism, use of symbolism may start. Thinking becomes hypothetical. Hypothetico-deductive reasoning, meaning the what-if situations. Hypothetical means not real, right? Not real. So, what-if situations, it's not rooted in reality, especially in science and maths. Hypothetico-deductive reasoning, they are used in science and maths because they deal with a lot of hypothetical situations. Creativity starts to develop, and most advanced stage in cognitive system. Characteristics of formal operational stage is building up multiple hypotheses and a number of alternate solutions. He has become very intelligent. He has become very logical in his thinking, very smart. Verify all solutions in a systematic and logical way, generalize and arrive at abstract rules that cover many specific situations, scientific thinking and problem-solving ability. Now let us solve previous year questions. However, I have a small request. I want you to pause the video before I reveal the answer, okay? So, according to Piaget, there are blank stages of cognitive development. The answer is very easy. It is 4. Match the following. So, you have to match stages of cognitive development with their respective features, okay? Sensory motor stage, object permanence, pre-operational stage, transductive reasoning, concrete operational stage, presence of reversibility concept, formal operational stage, hypothesis making and hypothesis testing. So our answer will be A. According to Piaget, cognitive development in human beings take place through 4 important stages. Identify the correct order of these stages. So we can cancel out A and C, B and D. So sensory motor, concrete operational. So this is wrong. B cannot be true because after sensory motor comes pre-operational. So our correct answer will obviously be D. According to Piaget, the formal operational stage is during the... So formal operational stage is the last stage, last of the 4. So it ranges from age 12 till 15. So that is adolescence. So our answer will be C, adolescence. In view of Piaget, the stage of development from the age 7 to 12 years is called, the answer will be concrete operational. According to Piaget, the most important cognitive outcome of the sensory motor stage of development is object permanence. In Piaget's view, which of the following stages of development is the highest stage in terms of cognitive development? Childhood, adolescence, adulthood, old age. Our answer will be adolescence. The last stage, the formal operational stage, is the highest stage in terms of cognitive development. Object permanence is the characteristic of which age group in Piaget's research evidence of growth and development? Up to the age of 8 to 9 months, between 2 to 7 years. So let us just categorize them. This is what? This is the first stage, sensory motor stage. Between 2 to 7, pre-operational stage. And 9 to 11 is concrete operational stage. Between 11 to 14 is formal operational stage. So our answer will be up to the age of 8 to 9 months. So you have to match the stages with their respective characteristics. Sensory motor is object permanence, pre-operational stage, transductive reasoning, concrete operational stage, reversibility, formal operational stage, intense self-awareness. So our answer will be 2. So I'll tell you why intense self-awareness is a characteristic of formal operational stage. Intense self-awareness is a very important characteristic of adolescence. And what stage is adolescence? It is formal operational stage. Hence, the answer is intense self-awareness. So we have to match the stages with their respective characteristics. Sensory motor is, where is it? Object constancy or permanence. Okay, constancy and permanence are the same thing. Pre-operational stage, transductive reasoning. Formal operational stage, it is the last stage, which is logical reasoning and ability to think in terms of abstract concepts. Concrete operational stage is reversibility. So our answer will be 3. Match the following. Sensory motor stage, object permanence again. Pre-operational stage, transductive reasoning. Concrete operational stage, ability to comprehend reversibility. Formal operational stage by hypothesis making and hypothesis testing. So our answer will be 2. Formal operational stage of cognitive development in Piaget's view will correspond to which stage of education in India? Primary, elementary, secondary, higher. Formal operational stage deals with adolescence, right? And the students of secondary education are mainly adolescents. So the answer will be secondary education. According to Piaget, in which stage of development the child shows attainment of concept of reversibility as a cognitive capacity? Absence of reversibility is in which stage? Absence of reversibility is in pre-operational stage, but reversibility starts to develop in concrete operational stage. So I've made a couple of questions for you all. It's for practice. Okay, so I want you to answer the questions. Just type the correct key along with their question number in the comment section. Okay. So which aspect signifies the transition from the sensory motor to the operational stage of development? Object permanence, reversibility, transductive reasoning, animism. Second question, in which stage does elimination of egocentrism take place? sensory motor, pre-operational, concrete operational, formal operational. The last question. Abstract thinking starts at which stage? Concrete operational stage, sensory motor stage, formal operational stage, or pre-operational stage? So best of luck in answering them, and I'll be checking out the comments. I hope today's lesson was helpful to you, and if you did find it helpful, then please leave a like, comment, and share. And if you're new to my channel, hit that subscribe button. Thank you so much once again. See you next week. Take care. Bye-bye.